Montage, New Jersey, 2-1 so far this year. At 174 pounds, he was a 2024 NCAA qualifier. And then there on the broadcast, you can see Iowa State's Aiden Riggins, the redshirt sophomore from Janesville, Iowa. Interesting note about him, he's a transfer from the University of Iowa, where he wore the black and gold for a couple of seasons. Wrestled at 184 in the Big Ten championships last year for the Hawkeyes. But down to 174 this year. And Tom, he's talked about it. He's a lot more comfortable at 174 as opposed to 184.
Well, and he's going to be facing a guy who's already been to the show and as a freshman was 25-13. Now, and I wanted people to know, too, about Aiden Riggins. You know, in the Stanford match, he lost to number 21, Lorenzo Norman, 10-1. Okay? But then the next day, Lorenzo Norman went to Iowa City and beat Nelson Brands. So quality of competition figures.
Right, and you mentioned Lorenzo Norman there, Tom, and his ranking. It was number 21 when Riggins faced him. After that victory, though, now up to number 9 nationally. So that's a 12-point gain for Norman in the rankings. Riggins certainly held his own for a while. It was a major decision last Friday. 3-0 early lead for Danny Wask here, who was 7th at the EIWA championship last season. 3-time national prep champion in high school.
Well, he was one of only 26 true freshmen in the NCAA bracket last year. Blair Academy for his prep years, won 3 national prep titles, won the Beast of the East twice, but has good technical skills and really a good athlete. I mean, he beat Peyton Mako last year in the tournament, and Tyler Eichens of North Carolina. So he's building his resume, and he's only a sophomore.
Riggins gets an escape here in the first period. He trails 3-1 against Danny Wask. 1:30 to go here in the first period. Again, Iowa State leading at 17-6 over Navy here in the duel. Most recently with a Tech Fall victory coming from Connor Uten in the 165-pound match. And again, that was over Charlie Evans of Navy. But Danny Wask trying to narrow that deficit a little bit here for Navy. He's controlled the first period up to this point.
Wask looking to elevate.
.40 to go, first period. Wask 3-1 over Riggins. Crowd starting to get into it here in Hilton Coliseum, coaching staffs as well. Riggins may just try and ride this out here for the duration of the 20 seconds.
Well, he was really working towards
there's the stalemate.
Getting some elevation there, but we end up with the stalemate.
Kerry Colott having a few words with Danny Wask after that stalemate. 10 seconds to go here in the first period. Wask 3-1 over Riggins. Again, that's the number 23 ranked Danny Wask in the 174-pound weight class. And that will do it for the first period. Wask 3-1 over Riggins as we head to the second. And, you know, Tom, we mentioned Kerry Colott there. When we talked to him this morning, he had a lot of high praise for Wask. And one of the things he told us was, you know, he is a technician first, but he can really also explode on people, you know, when you're least expecting it to. You know, he can find a way to flip that switch pretty quickly. And that is a big testament to the success that he's had in his young career. Again, 25-13 last year as a true freshman.
You know, the head coach of Navy, Kerry Colott, back in the 90s, he was a 4-time Pennsylvania champion, and when he was a senior in high school, he was the recruit. You know, he was the #1 recruit in the nation, and ended up going to Penn State, 2 years there, and then transferred to Lock Haven in Pennsylvania, a school like a bunch in Pennsylvania where they're Division III in most sports, but Division I in wrestling, and won a pair of titles. So here's Aiden again. You got to count. The Navy coaches want to count.
They certainly do here. We're getting that from the bench. Under a minute to go in the second period. Danny Wask 4-1 over Aiden Riggins. Still nothing yet from the officials.
And then Wask loses that hand on the ankle. And
there's the takedown for Danny Wask to extend his lead to 6. Wask had a 21-4 tech fall against Drexel last weekend at the Navy Tri-Meet, and then won by a decision against his opponent from North Carolina. Kolot also told us that Wask is a big-time team player for the midshipmen. That's one of his best attributes on this team. Under 10 seconds to go in the second period. Wask leads at 7-2 over Riggins. And that will do it.
You know, so Navy recruiting is somewhat similar to Stanford's in terms of you look at the top 100 in each weight class, and you're probably really only going to be looking at about the top, or not the top, but out of that 100, about 25 to 30 guys. Now, a couple of these midshipmen actually went to the Naval prep school. They have a prep school that you can go to refine your ability to gain entrance into, with 1 year there, to gain entrance into the academy. And a couple of Navy wrestlers have taken advantage of that.
So Wask leads at 7-2 here in the third period, minute 40 to go. Over Aiden Riggins, also has the riding time, minute 20 and counting. Wask prevented an escape from Riggins just a few moments ago. Riggins again, just kind of hanging on the bottom here, having a tough time regaining position. And we'll reset on the out of bounds. So Wask should have, well, he will have the riding time here.
Well, you're going to have MJ Gaitan also strong possibility here at 74 as Iowa State goes forward.
Again, Aiden Riggins, a transfer from Iowa. Should be interesting for him next weekend as the Cyclones travel to Iowa City, his former home. There's a good chance he wrestles in that one as well at 174 back in Carver Hawkeye Arena against the number 2 Hawkeyes. 47 seconds here, riding time secured for Wask, so you factor in an additional point to his total of 7 right now.
You know, Riggins transferred, but he was a frontliner for Iowa last year at 184. What do I mean? Well, he was the individual who went to the Big Ten championships and represented the Hawkeyes in that meet.
All right, about 40 seconds here in the third period at 174. Iowa State, number 11 Cyclones leading at 17-6 over Navy in the duel. And Wask really stepping on the gas pedal right now. He is in the driver's seat. And it'll There'll be a stall warning on Aiden Riggins with 25 seconds to go here. It'll be interesting to see how aggressive Wask gets here to try and see if he can find a way to get the bonus points. But just about 20 seconds to go, that could be tough.
Well, you can see that he already possesses good fundamentals on top. Good position awareness.
So 13 to go here. Wask can get that final takedown. He'll get the major decision. Riggins trying to get the escape again. And he gets it, but too little too late as Danny Wask will get the decision over Aiden Riggins to give Navy the victory in the 174-pound match. 7-3 is the final.